Hello everyone, welcome to Lighthouse Stamping with Lorraine. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Vancouver, Washington. Thank you for joining me today. Before we get started, the housekeeping notes, all the product I'm using and all the dimensions will be listed below. There's a link to my online store if you wish to purchase any of these products. There's a link to my Facebook group. We love to have you join that. And there's my email if you have any questions. And finally, remember to like, share, and subscribe on YouTube and help me grow in YouTube world. There's nothing in front of me today. We are going to be making a stationery gift box. And I'm going to show you an old one of the first ones I did. I'm guessing it was 8 or 9 years ago. It's been in use ever since. I borrowed it back from my sister. And this is what the box looks like. Hers is a little tattered. As you can see, it's worn. It's been well loved. But it has a lid that comes off. And when this opens, there's a pin that goes in here. She didn't have a pin. The pin goes. I like that. And this is a little pocket where you can put paper clips or postage. This is a little post-it. She's actually got some stickers she's stuck in here and notes, so we won't look at her notes. This one, she has some tags in this little pocket here, but you could also put slips of paper for making notes or tags, or you could put more longer postage, whatever. This one is designed to hold little 3x3 note cards, which are really nice if you just have a, little quick present or something you want to give to somebody. I don't know if her note card's going to open. There it goes from the bottom. It's some cute little 3x3 note cards and little envelopes. And this holds back here standard cards. She's always claiming my cards because she loves them and she uses them. So I let her have whatever she wants. So anyhow, this is what we're making today. Now you're going to have to fill this all yourself, but it's really easy to do. And we're going to go step by step. Now, I'm going to close this up. I'm going to show you two samples that aren't full now. Put hers out of the way. This one is one I made. And this is out of some old DSP from Celebration 2022, Summer Celebration. It was called Wonderful World. And that is Starry Sky and, I think it's Starry Sky. Starry Sky and Rich Raspberry. Little pocket. There's the little, and everything there. So this is that one. And then I made one. This one just has a bow on the front to show you which one was the front. This one actually has a ribbon wrapped all the way around it. This is the Countryside rose paper that demonstrators could earn last year. And I made this one. So there's just a couple so you can see what they look like. Now, I have done a lot of pre-cutting to help us. I'm going to be cutting the DSP with you. But let me get these out of here before I get them out of the way. I have made templates, and I've designed this using all letter size paper, be it US letter size or international A4. So I have patterns for everybody. So on the base part of this, the only difference is you have to use a little extra paper on the international, one extra sheet, but it's not even a full sheet. But these are the patterns I made. So you can take in, there's 4 sheets for the US. And these are the A4. They're marked A4. And this is the one little piece I couldn't get out of the paper. And the bases. So I've designed this so anybody in the world could make this with their letter size cardstock and not have to buy 12 by 12. So we have those, and I've already cut those pieces. I'm using US, of course. And then I've made templates for the layers that go on this. Everybody uses the same layers. And I've made patterns for all these. And I've made one for the DSP as well. Now, where you will find these patterns, if you want them, is over in my Facebook group. The day this video airs, which I'm hoping is going to be 1 video, maybe 2, depending on if I can get it all done in 1 video, will be posted My videos post around midnight, and the patterns will be up sometime probably between 9 and 12 in the morning. So, on my Facebook group. So if you don't belong to the Facebook group, you need to go over there and join the Facebook group so you can have the patterns. So, we're going to be making, I'm using 2 different types of paper, and this is done based on direction of your paper. So if you have directional paper, and I'll show you what we're using for the front of this first. We're using the Countryside Inn. We're using the bunnies today. And since this is directional, I wanted to make sure this pattern was done for directional paper. Now, if you don't have directional paper, the pattern still works. The difference is, if you're using directional paper, I've got this little checked off mark here, and it says over here, lid, if directional. If not directional, you can use it, cut it right out of here. If it is directional, you're going to need another small piece to cut this one out, which is the same size as that. But, so that's going to be what we're going to be doing for this one. And then this is for the inside of the box. And this was also made for directional paper as well, but I'm not using directional paper for this, but I'm still going to use the same pattern. So these are for the DSP pieces, and these will also be on my Facebook page. So let's get cutting. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you, I'll show you this on some of the layers I made. As you can see, I have marked all the layers, what they go to. There is so many pieces to this. If you don't mark them, you're going to lose it and keep on having to measure. So I really recommend marking. Unless you have, just one moment. Well, that should have scared her away. She just knocked the box down. What was I saying? If you have enough space, table space, you could just set all your pieces on the template. I don't have enough table space, and I'm sure most of you don't. So we're going to be cutting this, and we're going to be using the first pattern here, which is this one. So let's get carded. So what I'm going to do first, these only come down part way, as you can see here, but I've got these 2 lid sizes. So I'm going to cut this strip off right here first. And that strip is 1 3/4. So I'm going to turn my paper on the side. So I'm at the bottom of the page, and I'm going to cut off. Oop, I didn't cut all the way through. Just a moment. If you try to go too fast, you know what happens. There, that will be fine. I also have pieces of paper stuck in here. And then each of these are 5 7/8. So we'll cut the 5 7/8. And 5 7/8. Now I've got some Post-its here, and I'm just going to, these are part of the lid. So I'm going to just write lid on them, so I know when I get this big stack going, I know what it goes to. So those are the lid pieces. So now we're going to come back in and put this back in the direction we had it. And we are going to make the first score at 5 3/4. Not score, cut. So we'll set this piece off to the side again. And then our depth on these pieces is 4 3/4. I'll cut that one. 4 3/4. And yes, there's a small piece of leftover there. And these are the front and back. I just grabbed different Post-its. I got a couple sets sitting here, so that's why they're different colors. Okay, now we're going to bring this piece back in. Still going the same direction. And we are going to cut at 1 3/4. Going this way. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut the next one, which is 1 inch. set that back off to the side, and this one. And then we're going to cut this at 4 3/4 and 4 3/4. And these are the side panels. And I'm just going to try to keep all of them together. So these are the sides panels for our box. And then this one is also going to get cut. This 1-inch piece is going to get 4 3/4 and 4 3/4. So these are all of the pieces, side panels in the front and the back. So I'm going to put all these to the side. These are all the pieces that are for the outside of the box. So I'm going to put those in one spot so I don't lose them. So I don't have to tag them all. Okay, the next piece we have here, we need the side pieces for the lid. So I'm going to turn it on its side, and I'm going to cut at 1 7/8. Oh, a second here, make sure I do my own dimensions right. Hang on, I lost myself. Yeah, I'm going to cut it 1 7/8 this way. I just need a small piece, so I don't want to waste this. This is still good, and if your paper wasn't directional, this is the piece you would get that extra piece out of. But mine is directional. And then I'm going to cut this at 1 3/4. And nope, I have to do it one more time. So 7/8 and 1 3/4. And these are the other parts to the lid. Now we got the sides for the lid, but we don't have the top. And this is where I have to have another smaller piece, which I have right here. And that piece is right here, is the dimensions, or you can flip it over. And this one is going to be, what did I say? 5 7/8 by 1 7/8. So I'm going to cut this at 1 7/8. And 5 7/8. So I have some nice size scraps here that I will use for other things. And this is the other part of the lid. So I'm going to put the lid all stuff over in one spot for the lid. I'm just trying to keep things, like I said, the rest of the pieces are all individually marked because I cut those last night. If I sat and cut all the pieces, we'd never get the video over with. So that was all the pieces for the outside of the box. So this is the entire outside of the box. So now we're going to move to the inside of the box. The inside of the box, I'm going to be using this beautiful floral, and we're going to go right like this. This time we're going to come in here and cut at 3 3/4 straight across this way. Doesn't matter which side, because like I said, this is not directional. If it was, you make sure you're going the right direction. So we'll cut there. And then we'll come in here and cut at 5 3/4. And I'm going to, I know I had my pin here just a second ago. There it is. This is what we call the table base. I call the table. When we get putting this together, it'll make more sense. So that's the table. And then we're going to cut 2 pieces that are 1 3/4. These are the other 2 pieces of the table. So I set all those together and tuck them over here. Remember where I put all the pieces, okay, everyone? I'm gonna grab a sip of tea here. So out of this small piece, we are going to be cutting the pieces for what I call the small box. This is the one with the little lid. So we are going to cut this at 1 3/4. That's extra. Then we're going to be cutting at 1 3/4 and 3/4. And I will just put a little tag on that that says SM box. So that's for the small box. I'll put that across both of those. Okay, now we're going to move down to this section here. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to come in here and cut that piece down to 5 3/4 along the rest of this line. You could start this way or this, it's up to you. But I'm going to cut this way here. So this is, we already cut off the top half here. So now we're going to come down this way. And that's at 5 3/4. And then we're going to flip it around and we're going to cut it at 2 3/4 and 2 3/4. These are for the large pocket and the inside back. Once we go through this, it will make more sense. That's the inside and that's the large pocket. Using my abbreviations here. And then this small piece here, this should be 1 3/4, which it is, and we are going to cut off 3 1/4, and then we're going to cut off 2 1/4. Little waist, and these are the medium pocket. And this is the small pocket. There's a pocket and a box that are both small. That's what I named them. Okay. And then we have this leftover piece here. We have one more thing to cut. And we need a piece that is 3 inches. And then I'm going to flip it over and cut at 2 inches. And 1/2 inch. And this is what I call the post-it holder. And put those across that one. Okay, we are done cutting paper and we are ready to start assembling as soon as we do some scoring on for the box. Whoa, Shasta. I'm moving I have to move my cutter out of the way because I have very limited space in here. Move a few things. So I'm going to use your scoreboard. You could use your trimmer. So we had all the bases. And I've cut all the bases and I've wrote on each of them. So we're going to start scoring these. The first one is the front base. And on the front base, we are going to be scoring this on the 10-inch side, we are going to score this at 2 8. And we're going to flip it around, doesn't matter which side, and we're going to score at 5. So that's the first piece of scoring. Next piece is the back of the base. On this 8 1/2 inch side, we are going to be scoring at 1 1/4 and 7 1/4. Flipping it over to one of the sides and scoring at 5. Either side doesn't matter. So 5 on the 7-inch side. Like I said, all these dimensions are going to be in the description. Pictures will be over on my Facebook page. All right, the next piece we have is the large pocket. This is called the large pocket for the base. The base, what I mean, is the framework that builds the card, or the stationery box. You know what I mean. So on the 8.5 inch side, well, actually, I'm starting on the 8.5 inch side. We are going to be scoring at 1 1/4 on 3 sides. So both of the short sides and one long side at 1 1/4. Like that. I have to turn the page just a moment. What I'm working from, this is my journal. This is from a very long time ago. This is my journal I keep different instructions in. And I'm actually working from my journal that I made when I first worked on this box originally. Next, we need what's called the medium pocket base. And we are going to be scoring that on the 5 inch side at 1/2 inch and 1 inch. Flipping it over, 1 or 1/2 and 1. Okay. Then there's going to be the small pocket base. That's 4.5 wide. And we are going to be scoring that one at the same dimensions, 1/2 and 1. Flipping it over, doing 1/2 and 1. Okay. The next is the post-it holder base. And that one we are going to be scoring on the 7.5 inch side. I'm going to remove that for a second now. And we're going to be scoring at 1 3/4, 2, I'm double checking my numbers here, 5, and 5 1/4. And that's the scoring for that piece. Like I said, it's pretty easy. This is for the small box base. So we're going to start with the 5.5 inch piece. And we are going to be scoring at 1 inch, 1 1/4, 3 1/4, and 3 1/2. Then we're going to flip it over on the 2.5 inch side and score at 1/4. Flip it over to the other side and score at 1/4. And so that's going to make our little box. And the last thing we have to do is the lid. And we are going to be scoring at 2 inches on all 4 sides. Oop. And don't go out of your track. I'm not leaving any gap or anything on this one. This box is designed to fit without leaving any gaps or anything when you're scoring. And that is all the scoring we're going to be doing. So we're going to start with the base of this. So I'm going to grab the 2 pieces. They're the front and back base. I'm going to leave the tags on for now so I don't, confuse myself. I mean, they're a little different in size, but I can do that. So first we're going to bone. I grabbed everything out and I forgot to grab my bone folder. Here it is. And we are going to burnish these lines. And we are going to burnish these lines very well. And we'll go ahead and do the back now as well. This is one of those projects you build in sections. Okay, so on both of them, we have these squares off here. We are going to be trimming both of those off. So I'm going to cut right up my score line. Not doing a very good job today. Just like that. Now, you need to keep one of these big ones. Set it off to the side. You'll discover why in a little while. And the other ones we can throw away. Or you can save them for something else. Cutting right up those score lines. On that one. And on this one. And the last piece. Yes. Want to cut as straight as you can. So we have two pieces that now look like this, the fronts and the backs. So what we're going to do first is we are going to take, this is my front, we are going to glue the back over the top of the front, like this. And I would recommend glue over other adhesives. Glue, when it gets with the paper, and especially all the layers on this box, will make it much sturdier than tape will. Also gives you the ability to move around a little bit. But if you want to use tape, use Seal or, not Seal, Seal Plus or Tear and Tape. We are going to be using a little bit of Tear and Tape on this box because just out of convenience. So, on the flap here that we just cut out, we are going to put glue. And I'm being generous with this glue because I want this box to hold together for a really long time, like that first box my sister had. Then I'm going to line this up. I'm going to pick this up and make sure I'm lined up on both sides here. And then I'm going to make sure that I'm lifting this up and I'm pushing this right into that fold. Just right up to the fold line here. Right there. And give it a little rub. Okay. So we have our two pieces now. Now it's time to decorate this portion. This is one of those projects, it's much easier to decorate as you go. So what I need is I need the outside pieces. If I lay these out right, I should have a front and a back and 4 side pieces. So we're going to set this off to the side real quick. Now the front and the back center pieces are exactly the same. So we will go ahead and glue those together. And if you're making multiples, you can just save your tags and use them again. So we're going to go ahead and glue these on now. Oh, I'm using glass, so I can just throw this in so I leave it upside down. Put a paper towel in it so it doesn't ruin your glass. Unless you have one that you can actually put something in and leave it open. I don't want to have to be opening and closing this all day when I'm doing this. So I just do that. And this is Night of Navy paper, and the light blue is Boho. Make sure I've got all that squared up. Looks good. And then we'll do this one. There's a lot of gluing in this, but it's worth it. Okay, now we have the sides. We have the back side, which are smaller, and then the front sides. And we're going to glue all these together. Once you get everything cut, it does go together quite quickly once you have all the pieces. And you don't have to stop and correct a cat who's getting into everything. They're being quite snoopy today. Like I said, I'm being generous with the glue. So I want this to stay together a long time. And then these two. glue gives you that wiggle room, you know. And the last one. So these are all the outside pieces except for the lid, which that will come a lot later. Not a lot, but a little while. Okay, now we got those pieces all glued together. Now we're going to bring this back in. Now I'm working upside down because I want this close to me so I can glue it easier. So I'm going to do it this way because when you open it, it'll look like that. Make sure my bunnies are facing away from me. Put that right in the center here. And we'll do the little sides now. I know I'm being quiet, just concentrating on what I'm doing. Making sure I don't put the bunnies upside down. Okay. Now we'll flip it around and do the front side. But I'm sure many of you have lots of paper in your stacks. You're hoarding this DSP, and it's time to put it out to good use. And make some nice birthday gifts, great Mother's Day, grandmothers, you know. Nice Easter gift. This would make a nice Easter gift since I'm using the bunnies. And I'll put the sides on. Still making sure everybody's going upside down here, so they're going the right direction. This makes it really nice, and you've made lots of cards, so you've got part of that. You can put the cards already in, and little 3x3 cards are very simple to make. And if you have a envelope punch board, the envelopes are really easy to make, or you can buy them, or you can make them by hand, actually. All right, so those layers. That's the back, that's the front. And it'll eventually go just like this. But it needs something inside. So it's time to build the inside. So we're going to set this off to the side for a moment. And now we're going to grab the large pocket. And I'm going to grab two other pieces. Besides the large pocket here, I'm going to grab the inside. These are the two large pockets and the inside back. Because I'm going to do this at the same time as I do this one. So this one, we're going to burnish it. And this one is going to get treated just like the bases, where we're going to take those little corners out here. Just like this. That little corner out. Need to wipe off my hands real fast. I'm sticky. There's no wedging or anything. I was straight down the line. So it looks like that. So let's go ahead and glue these pieces on. This is for the large pocket, and this is for the inside base. They're exactly the same size. So if you do get them mixed up, it won't make any difference. there's that one. And let's go ahead and do this one too. And then we'll put this together and put this on the box base. Just a tad. There we go. And before I start on something else, just one moment. My hands are so sticky. I need to wipe them off a little bit with some alcohol. It's hand sanitizer. Because you will get sticky doing this, but that's okay. So I'm going to take the inside piece and we're going to put it in here. Now you notice it does not go clear to the bottom. It doesn't matter. You don't need it to go to the bottom. This is one way we've conserved a little bit of paper when we were designing, when I was designing this, is because you're not going to see any of it. So I only put paper where you needed it. This up to the top, minding our border at the top and the sides, and forget about the bottom. Okay, now we're going to bring our main base back in. And we're going to be working on the back, which is this, what the shorter wings is the back. First thing we're doing is we're going to put this other piece in, and we're going to put it up clear up here. You see how much space we're leaving here? It's perfectly fine. No one's going to see it. You're only going to see the top portion, and so we don't need to cover all of it. If you want to do the whole thing, you could, but I think there's better use for my paper. So once again, we're going to mind our top margin and our sides. Get that over just a touch. There we go. Just like that. Okay. This is going to go in here and hook in to this piece right here. So the first thing we're going to attach is this. And it's going to go in right here. This is the back. And we're going to fold it up and hook that right in there and line these sides up, just like we did with the two pieces together. But now we're going to put glue on the bottom piece here only. Going to go in here and line this up. Want to make sure my sides are lined up. Oh, they were until I dropped it. And I want to make sure we're right up to the fold, but you want to make sure it opens up this far, just so it goes up straight up and down. Okay, now we're going to take this piece here, this one on either side. You can do either side first. I'm going to put glue on this piece here. And we're going to bring this in. So straight up and down. And we're going to bring this one in. Oh, close up. And we want this. You're going to push it back towards the back here. Now, this is not dried on the bottom, so you need to be careful. I would actually, work on something else for a minute. Glue some other pieces instead of trying to rush like I'm doing. You need to hold this in place for just a second. So it's right flush back here, like that. Now we're going to open this up and put this one in. Like I said, the bottom's not dry yet. And so it wants to pop up if you're not careful. So, like I said, you got layers. You could put other layers together while you're waiting for the glue to set for a minute. But I don't have that luxury when I'm filming, or the video will be really long. So I'm pressing here, making sure it's flush here. I'm going to make sure this is stuck down good on the bottom. But you see now, if you look in here, when you're looking straight ahead, you don't see down there where we didn't put any paper. So just make sure that's good and flushed. Okay, we'll set that aside, let it dry for just a minute now. I'm going to have a small drink. And we are going to work on the small and medium pockets. These are the ones that had just, we can tell the difference now. These just had the scores, 4 little score lines. So give them a good burnish. It's very important that you do give them a good burnish so they fit into where you want them. And this one here. Okay, so small and medium pocket, medium pocket. I'm looking for my small pocket here. Hang on, small pocket. Just had to find the right pieces. So we're going to go ahead and glue these on. And the medium pocket. And then we'll glue them right in the center of these 2 pieces in the white area. It's pretty easy to... Gotta remember to leave my glue upside down so it runs freely when I'm working. And you can fold those sides in to make sure you got it lined up good. And then this one. And just folding those in so I can make sure it's looks good. Okay. Let's bring our main piece back in now. Now these pieces are going to go in here and here, or in here and here. I did the last ones, I think, did that way, but I'm going to do it this way this time. So you can put them either side, your choice. So I'm going to start with this small one. There's no base in this, so just it's flush. So what you want to do is you want to take this first square here, and you're going to put glue on it. And then you're going to come in here, and you're going to take that and put it right down at the bottom, and you're going to line it up with the large box you just did. Hooked in. You see how I'm lining that up? Oop. My hand's moving. There. I'm lining that up right where that large box is. Just that one piece. Like I said, be careful. Things are still wet. Okay. And then we're going to come in and we're going to do the same thing on this side. Take glue on one side. And I'm going to come in here and fold that so it's just sticking like this. I can see it real easy. Line it up. Trying to hold this so you can see it. So you can see how it's lined up right there. And then push that and make sure it's nice and straight. Hold that for just a second so we make sure it's hooked in there. So this is going to fold back like that, and this is going to fold and go in like this. So this is where it gets fun. Not real fun. I'm going to put glue on the large one, and I'm going to fold it in and try to get it as straight as I think it should be, just eyeballing it, and hold that for just a second. So it takes and it hooks on. Now I'm going to take this one. I'm going to put glue on the same outside flap. But this one, we're going to put a little glue right here in the center. So you see where I put a little extra glue on that one. That's the only one you put in the center. Fold this in. So I've just lined it up right there. And I'm just pushing this just ever so slightly together till that glue holds. I'm making a bow, but it's not going to bow it. I just want that glue to take in. Could get a pair of scissors in here, might work too. No, not those scissors. No, I don't have the other ones here. But you can also take your bone folder and hold it in here just to make sure that hook's in there. And now if I pull on it real hard, it'll come apart, but it's starting to hook on. So that's that far. So far, so good? I hope so. Now we're going to do the table part. I'll set that aside and let it dry for a minute. So we need the table base. This is what I call, this is the part I call the table. So I have a base and I have 2 table sides. And here's the DSP. So we're going to go ahead and mount those on real fast. There we go. One. And this one. Okay, now let's go ahead and put these in. It's coming together rather nicely. It's very pretty, this one. I like the others too, but I like the colors of this one. And then this one. Oop, get out of there. We don't want glue on the front of him. Looks pretty good. And this one. Okay. Now we're going to take this and we're going to set this off to the side and let it sit and dry for a few minutes. Coming together nicely? I think so. Let's let it dry. I'm going to wipe my hands off real fast again, because we are now going to build the Post-it and the small box. Now I'm going to be using magnets. If you are giving this to somebody that has a pacemaker or something like that, you want to use Velcro dots, you can use those too. And don't give this to children, use Velcro dots. We are going to need, and these are 8 by 1 millimeter neochromium. I got them on YouTube or Amazon, but I'm going to need 4 of these, and I've got to separate them because they are, as you can see, they're very strong. So make sure I don't let them go. And they did not come in this package. This is a package I actually got years ago when we couldn't get them here and I had to order them from England. But now we can get them in the US, so we don't have to worry about that. So I'm going to need the pieces. I'm getting the pieces moved over here for the pocket. So we're going to need the base pocket. We'll do this one first. So this is the Post-it. And we're going to want to take and fold and burnish those lines real good. Now this does not hold a full Post-it pack. We're going to split one in half so you can get 2 out of so this is the Post-it container like this, okay? Or you can do it this way. I'm going to do it this way this time. So I'm just taking a Post-it package. This is the 3x3. Find about middle and split it in half. And this is going to go right in the center of those fold lines. Like that. Okay? But we do have some little pieces of paper here we're going to decorate with. So, and these are the Post-it pieces. Now we're not putting this on quite yet. That's gonna go like this. I had it upside down. I did have it upside down. I need to put it the round way, right way. It's this way. You can actually leave that out until we're done, but this is gonna go on here, but we'll go and put this one in. You're gonna need a glue dot. And I'm gonna grab my piercing tool because I wanna try to keep these glue dots as flat as possible. I'm going to pick up one of the magnets and I'm going to put it on the front, and I'm going to go up a little ways. Not too far though. You want to make sure you're not going past the other piece. Not like that. And push that down. Then we're going to glue this piece on. And I would recommend, glue doesn't stick to the magnets too well. Another glue dot on top. Then you're going to take this and center it like so. Okay, so then push around that magnet, make sure it's good and stuck. Okay, now this little piece here, which I didn't cut right. What didn't I cut right? Hang on. Just one moment. I'm trying to see what piece I didn't cut correctly. It's this one. It's supposed to be a 1/2 inch, not 3/4. So, just gonna grab, gotta have one mistake in the batch. Just grab a Post-it, we'll just fix that up real fast. Hey, these things do happen. And we'll glue this one on. That's better. Now this is going to go down here in the bottom of this right here. Look at your bottom and your sides, because when this will come up, it'll be closed like that. Okay, now it's time for the next magnet. Remember that piece of paper I told you to hold out? I'm going to be using my 1/2 inch punch. We don't have these anymore. You can find another small punch you have. You could just make a little square, a little circle die cut, whatever you have. And I'm going to go ahead and punch 2 of these because I know I'm going to need 2. I need one for the small box as well. But that was what that extra little piece of paper was for. So what we're going to do is take a magnet and we're going to take and drop it where the other magnet was right there. Just drop it, okay? And then I'm going to grab a glue dot and put it right on that magnet. Then I'm going to fold this, make sure you got everybody straight, and push down. Lift up, and then you give it a good push. Then I'll put another glue dot on top. And the reason I like to do it, it's a couple of reasons. First, I think it looks better, this little dot, than the magnet. But also, these magnets are so strong that it needs a little bit of help calming it down. And the paper does do that. So that's the Post-it holder. And that one's all made and ready to go. Next is the little box. We've got a little bit of work to do on the little box. First, we need to fold and burnish all of our little score lines. And it is imperative that these are scored really well. And this one here. And then we need to do the sides. Like I said, they're only 1/4 inch. But they're very important 1/4 inch sides. Okay, so we got all those scored. Now I'm going to come in. You got this big piece right here, and then you got a smaller one here. We're going to come down, and the smaller one, we're going to come down to the second score line. We're going to cut straight down to the second score line, come straight across and cut that off. And then straight down, and then cut across at the score line. So you got that, like that. That's going to be your lid. Then you're going to come in here and you're going to just cut where these little score lines are. You're not going to wedge them or anything. You're not going to be gluing them. You're going to be pushing them in. So you just have to cut straight down. So it's very small, little tiny tabs. Except I want to go in. Okay. So this is going to go like this, and this is going to go like that. So we're going to decorate. This is the base. These are the pieces for the small box. And just get all those glued on and get the magnets installed. Oh, I'm not doing very good. I'm putting it on the base, but that's okay. I didn't go too close to the edge. We're fine. Why did someone yell at me? I need more caffeine. Okay, so this is the bottom of our box here. And this needs to go on. We need to put our first magnet underneath this. And I'm going to grab a little drink here, if you don't mind. We are getting close to being done. So, and you need to keep in mind how much space you have here. This is coming over, so you need to put it down a ways, but not right, so by, you know, in the middle of that. A little guessing there, but it's easy guessing. So I'm going to grab that first dimension glue dot with a little magnet about right in the center, about like that. And then we'll glue this piece on here. Now the last the last magnet, we are not going to be assembling for a few minutes yet. Because I found that this was the I got a little piece there. The easiest way to install this is to push that down around that magnet so it's good inside there. Okay, now this is where we need tear and tape. I'm not going to try to glue those tiny little pieces. You could, but I don't want to. So this is going to come up. This is the front, and it's going to come up and over. Hang on. Get all these little tabs in. Get in there. It's going to come up like this and wrap around, going towards the back. Okay? So we're going to put tear and tape on the front here. Now you're saying the tear and tape is wider than your little tab. Yes, it is. Don't worry about it. I'll show you what to do in a second. And this one. Don't put with this. We're going to need that in just a minute for something else. So I like to give this a good rub to make sure it's all stuck to my paper well. And we're going to pull off these tabs. Okay. Can you see how the tape is sticking over? There you can. Just take and it's double-sided. Just roll it back on itself. Okay. Push those inside pieces in. Push this in. You're going to want to take one side at a time. Push it in. Try to get it as straight as possible. This is probably the clumsiest part of the whole box, but I think it's the cutest. Push that in. Don't push that one down yet. It's not lined up. Then push this one in and line it up. It's not too bad. Goes together pretty easy. Okay. Now it'll go like that. So we go ahead and stick this piece on the front. You could have done it a minute ago. I should have, but I didn't. That's going to go on the front. Like that. And then we're going to put I have a little lip here, but it's on the inside and it doesn't bother me, so I'm going to leave it. So we're going to take another glue dot. I missed one there. And just like the other one, it left the glue dot. That's how strong that magnet is. Drop it on where your other one, put a glue dot on. Make sure your box is nice and straight. Close that. Pick it up and give it a good press. Get one more glue dot and put it on top here. And then grab our circle. Oop. And put it right in the center so it looks pretty. And also helps the magnet from crashing down on us. All right. We have the pen holder next, which is pretty easy. Just give it a little curvature here. About like that. I'm going to put a little piece of tear tape. Or you could use a glue dot too. I use tear and tape. And I'm just putting a piece of tear and tape strip right across here. Pull the backing off and wrap that around to make the pen holder. Okay. So let's install these now. Now, you could stop right here and just go straight to the lid and leave this base open if you wanted. I mean, I've seen them done that way, but I didn't want it that way. I wanted these in here. I think they're cute. So what I want to do is sort of line them up in here, and this is going to go like that. So that's about where I want them. Take my cute little box. Now, you don't want to be playing with these boxes until they set to the base. And it takes, I would give them a good half hour before you try to fill them with anything. Girls, get out of the stack of paper. I have a stack of DSP over here in a box, and they're trying to get into it. And we'll glue down the Post-it note. And I want to line this up. Got about the same gap here and in the center. You want to look at nice, make it look nice to the eye. Push it down and let it sit. And then the glue, right on that flat part there, put a little glue. Make sure you go this way. You want to go this way so your pin fits in. And I'm putting it down about right there. Now, you could have done this in boho blue as well, but I sort of like the darker color of that. So that's the whole box designed. Now we just have one more part. That's the lid. So let's set this aside and let's do this lid and we'll be done. Doing pretty good. I was saying an hour and 20 minutes when I started filming that. Before I started filming, I was guessing an hour and 20. I think we'll be finished before then. Okay, so we're going to do some cutting. These were just cutting up. So you want to cut on the long side. You want to come straight up. I took my glasses off a few minutes ago. I wasn't measuring. I'm going to come back on for cutting. We're going to come straight up. And we're going to make a slight wedge. And I mean a slight. You don't need to make wedge. Just a small one. Like that. Now come over and do this side. And a little wedge. That's a little bigger than I really needed, but it'll be fine. And a little wedge. And one more side. And this side. Okay, so then we have the lid pieces. The one I want to make sure to keep separate is the top. Now you look at these, they look the same. There's 1/8 inch difference. You want to keep them separate, so you keep the top and always mark the top, because I'm not going to take that off till, because it's so hard to tell them apart, and you don't want to have to be measuring all the time. Now, where did I put the pieces for the top? I have little packets stuck all over. So this is for the lid. And yes, they only fit one way because one is 1 3/4, one is 1 7/8. So the dimensions are very close, so I'm sure you'll have no problem. Okay, and this should be the lid top. I didn't mark the lid top. Yep, that's the top. I should have marked it. I didn't. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. That slid. Big time. We'll fix it. That was not good. Do you guys see what happened there? I moved it. We can fix it. I think I can. You know what I'm going to do? We're going to help this along here. I'm flipping this over, putting on my mat, re-gluing this. And then I'll stick the other side. There, it'll be fine. We'll leave that on the mat until we're ready to stick it down. So, and I'm back cleaning off the glue off my fingers since I really did get it gluey. Yeah, watch when you got one that's just been set, you know, placed, recently placed, that you don't hit it and do what I just did. Okay, back to gluing. Lots of gluing. These are the sides. We'll set that over there so I can't hit it. I have a little, just one moment. I don't know if you can see it. I have the tiniest little burr right there. Very tiny. If you have a little burr or something sticking out on your paper, before you glue it is the time to get it. There we go. And this is the top. I'm going to leave that tag right there. Now I gotta move him closer to me. Okay, we got the top in my hand. We might as well glue the top in. At this point, it doesn't matter, you know, which way it goes on the lid. Because we haven't determined the front of the box yet. Okay, so when we're looking at this, they're going to go this way on this side. Flip him around and they're going to go this way. Okay, and then we'll put the sides in. Oh dear. My bunnies are going to be going the wrong way, but that's okay. I'm not too worried about it. Watch the direction of your paper and your cuts, but I'll be fine with that. I just want to make sure they're going the same way as the lid. The bunny should have went this way, but I wasn't watching my measurements. But it's fine. It's the side. I'm not too particular about the sides. Okay. Got all those in. Now we'll hook the box to the lid together. Make sure you got nice 90-degree corners. And another 90-degree corner. Remember, it's going to take a minute for that glue to set. Fold that one in so I don't have to deal with it in a minute. And this last one, glue. Okay, I'm going to come back in here and give it a little rub here and make sure that sticks good before we try to put this on the box. Now, at this point, you need to decide which way you want to decorate your lid. You could just do a ribbon. You could just do a bow. You don't have to put anything on. I think I want just a bow on this one. So, wiping my hands off. This is the front of my box because I'm looking at my bunnies. Oh. And this is the, hang on, my hands are so sticky, there's absolutely no way I could tie a bow at this point. So I have to really wash my hands off good this time. But we are done using the glue. Like I said, hand sanitizer is wonderful stuff. So you could take the ribbon. This is the sheer white and silver ribbon, and you could put it around like that if you wanted. Actually, I sort of like that. Maybe we will do that. I'm going to use glue dots to do this. You could use tear and tape. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little glue dot here at the top, start, and I'm going to find about where I want it in the middle, because I do want this in the middle, about like that. And then I'm just going to walk around the box like this. Cut that off. I know it's sprung all over. Just wrap it around where you want it. That silver does look rather nice with there. Stay. This one you need extra hands. Trying to keep it as level as possible. And I'm going to come in here and put another glue dot right there and push that in to that glue dot. You're going to have a bow right there. So I'm going to tie off that extra. Now, if you're a little wobbly over here, which we are, you could take another glue dot and you could stick one right here in the back so it's not as wobbly. I may actually, I know I'm going to stick one here. That one looks better. That was just a little wobbly there. Okay, there's where the front is. Now, I will make my bow. So I'm just going to make a little bunny bow. Because I think decorating this is nice, because it is a gift for somebody, and it's something they can use all year long. That looks pretty good. And I'm going to grab a couple more glue dots. And I'm going to put 2 on this because I really don't want it falling off. I think my sisters did have a bow on it originally when I made it. Pretty sure it did. But over the years it has. That's where the 2 are joined. Just like that. Okay, so bring this back. Now, I'm going to tell you, you've got so much paper and glue on this box right now. It's still wet. I can actually feel the dampness. And this is set up, but it's still needs to dry for a little while before I would give you I would give it a full hour before you pack it full of stuff, okay? But this folds up just like this. The lid goes on just like that. There's the front of your box. Just remember the big ones go on the outside. And there's your beautiful box. Lid pops open and the desk opens up. And then you could fill it full of all kinds of goodies for them. A few paper clips. You could even put some postage or some little other trinkets in here and little cards. You could put an extra postage stamp thing so they have an extra one for later. You can have a lot of fun with this. I think it's a great gift. And so I'll leave that open just like that for now. But anyhow, that's my project for today. I know it's a little longer than my usual projects, but I wanted to show you something that I thought was a great gift idea, especially since Easter, Mother's Day is coming up. We got graduations, kids going off to college and stuff. Sometimes they need some stationery. It's just a nice way to give them a nice gift. So have a wonderful day, and I will see you later. Goodbye.